Now listen up here, you filthy degenerates. I've had a lot of people come up to me in the past, saying, Noble, we're ashamed. We don't really know anything about these anime words. And I'm like, that's okay. Just let Papa Paz take care of it here for you. That's right, just call me Papa Paz or Papas. What if you're older than me? Well, just don't make it weird or anything like that. So yeah, sure, you may say, Noble, I actually have a life. I don't actually look at anime for a freaking living all the time, 24/7. I go outside and have a girlfriend and everything. And I'm just like, that's a fair point. So regardless, we're gonna be learning about all sorts of different anime words here, just so I can help you all out. Am I actually gonna be talking like this the entire time? Probably not. But anyway, we're gonna be starting out with something called the deres, and specifically, I'm sure you guys have heard of these terms before, these generic stereotypes of common anime characters. Now let's start off with one of the most common ones, the tsundere, where the tsun means to be hateful to a certain person, while the dere, and which you will see a common thing at the end here of all these different character types, usually means to be sweet and lovey-dovey. So you're also hateful, but you're also sweet and lovey-dovey at the same time, which is where the tsundere comes into play. Why? Because most of the times, she a bitch. She punches you, she abuses you, but that's only because she wants your attention and she loves you and can't express her way any other sort of method. And the yandere, another very popular one for whatever reason, where the yan is an abbreviation of yanderu, which means mentally ill, for a very specific reason. Usually because yanderes are the types of characters that go stalking their love interest, and they do creepy stuff like that, and sometimes they even go as far as killing for them, or even killing them, their love interest, because they want them to never be with anybody else. And next is the hime-dere, and also an offshoot, the oji-dere, where hime is princess and oji is prince. And what do they act like? Well, they act like princesses and prince, where they're superior to you, and they're like, oh, they do that kind of laugh. And next, of course, is my personal favorite, the dere-dere, which is just a nice girl that just loves you. She just loves, it's lovey-dovey girl. That's really what it is. She just wants to love you. Alright, nothing better than an anime girl that loves you back. Then there's the kuderes, which are the ones that just don't talk at all, really. They don't really have much, but they still, when they do talk, like, they got a little love in there for you, you know? They don't show that much. And then there's also the danderes, which is, in my opinion, the better kudere, which is just a shy introverted girl who doesn't really get out that much, but when she does, when you do get lovey-dovey with her, then she opens up and becomes more, just apparently that she loves you. And finally, although there are tons of more deres, I figured, why not add the Kamidere? Since Kami is such a common word that comes up, which means God. Basically, this person has a God complex, which is pretty much 100% of YouTubers. Anyway, now that we got the deres out of the way, let's proceed on to some generic anime terms. I wanted to speak on this earlier since it went so well with the tsundere, and that was baka, which literally translates to idiot. And why does the tsundere say this? Because she's like, baka, 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 sexy bitch baka. It's basically the tsundere's #1 word that they will always use because they love you. And then we have the word nani, which means what. However, usually what comes before it is omae wa mo shinderu, which means you are already dead. But then wait a minute, nani? An interesting thing that comes up a lot are the different types of likes and loves here, mainly because in Japan it's kind of a mess. Like where aishiru is a way of saying I love you, alright? But they don't usually use this for whatever reason because they're too shy, alright? So instead they use suki, which means like, but it can also mean love. However, usually when they really like you and they want to show that they like you, they go daisuki, which translates to really like, which also means love. It's a weird, complicated mess because Japanese people are so shy. Another word I could go on forever about is probably des. However, I'm not. It's just the infinitive way of saying to be, which is, you guys know the infinitive verb, which is or was, all that other stuff, and all sorts of different types of tenses you can put it there. Oh, grammar. But oftentimes in anime, it's just used as a cute way for cute girls to end sentences all the time with, which is a little unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. Speaking of cute, you should probably know kawaii, or kawaii, since oftentimes a lot of weebs, like us, always say it, and it's fantastic because it means it's cute. However, sometimes people mess up and say kawaii, which means scary, so sometimes you mess up and call something scary, which is supposed to be cute, and then you can offend people. Make sure you don't do that. Next, let's go over some anime types that you guys see a lot in anime, and also manga if you follow them, which is stuff like the shonen genre. And it gets spelled either with a U or without a U, and sometimes they even add an H in there. It's really weird. Mainly that's just due to the reason because the O is supposed to be kind of drawn out with that line. And basically, what it means is boy. That's right. Boy, shonen! It's manga or anime usually aimed at males. And then there's, of course, Shoujo, which also, sometimes it also has the U in there. I don't know, it's weird. Which is manga or anime aimed at girls, which literally translates to girls. It's that simple. But then there's ones that's not so literal here, which is seinen, which just means adult. It's not necessarily adult male, but oftentimes it's associated with manga or anime aimed at adult males. And then there's Josei, which is manga actually aimed at adult women. However, it just means female in Japanese. And speaking of different anime types here, I should probably cover Isekai, which has been coming up quite a lot lately in anime topics, which means parallel or different world. And that usually involves animes where people go to different worlds. That's an Isekai. You know animes like that. There's tons of them out now. And then, of course, my favorite, which is not really a Japanese word, but harem. Harem usually refers to just one guy and a bunch of girls going after them. However, there is a reverse harem where there's one girl and a bunch of boys go after her. And finally, bukake, which, that's not supposed to be in there. Anyway, let's move on to honorifics here, which is usually found at the end of Japanese names, where it basically shows your connection with said individual. Now, of course, there's the typical san, like noble-san, that you see, which basically just translates to Mr., Miss, or Mrs. It's a very generic but very formal way of saying, like, someone's name. And then there's chan, which is a very endearing way to call a girl, like Sakura-chan, where she's cute and she's nice, and you just want to say that she's cute and nice, and you usually use that when she's younger than you or around the same age. And then there's kun, which is often used by boys, which is a more, informal way to say, like, hey, this guy's my bro, or something like that. However, it can be used on girls and not in an offensive way. Then there's sama, which is used as a very respectful way to call somebody, like Noboru-sama. Or, it's just like, hey, this guy is of a higher rank and higher importance, and I'm not trying to inflate my ego. And then probably one of the most common ones that you see is the senpai and kohais, where senpai means he's an upperclassman, where kohai means they're an underclassman. So, Maibigbutt-senpai. Maibigbutt-senpai is here to teach you all of the Japanese. And anyway, before we go, we should move on to some more common Japanese terms, such as yamete, which means stop, and yamero, which is a more aggressive way to say stop it. Yamero! And then, of course, there's itai, which means painful, or oishii, which is tasty. And then there's sugoi, which is amazing. And then finally there's opai, which means uh-oh. And well, that concludes our little lesson on Japanese terms, alright? So now, you don't have to be ashamed if you don't know these terms if you're a fan of anime. That's okay. We're here for you. We can teach you plenty more. There's plenty of different Japanese terms out there that I haven't covered, but you know what? I don't want to go on forever. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see all you beautiful sons and guns again next time. I don't know why that voice is so addicting to do.
You crazy mother.